Good afternoon, everyone. I am Aiden, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thinking about the topic for this series, I had some ideas in mind about some topics, but thinking about something that happened to me this week. Who has been talking to someone and then you say, sorry, I forgot what I was going to tell you. Did any of you forget where you put your phone, your keys, or another thing? Or many times when we see someone, we say, I remember your face, but not your name. We never say otherwise. I remember your face, your name, but I don't remember your face. No, that doesn't happen. Or how many times have you created a password and don't save it because you think you will never forget it? But the next day, you don't remember the password. And the worst thing is that it is the bank password. Oh my God. That is a problem, and that happened to me this week. I went to the ATM because I needed money. And I got to the ATM, insert the card, and when I had to put the password, I said, oh my God, what was the password? I waited a moment trying to remember the password, but finally I couldn't remember. Yeah, that was a sad situation. It has possibly happened to you, but what is going on here? Is our memory failing? Probably you say, no, my memory is okay. Or maybe you say, yes, my memory is not good. If you think that forgetting something is okay, you are right. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Even the person with a record of memorizing more things in the world can forget something, sorry. I have other question. Some of you remember everything you saw in university? Well, we are supposed to remember everything we are taught in the different courses in order to be competent in a world of work. It is absurd because you study a full degree, but in the end you only remember around of 5%. Most we forget the majority of what we experience today by tomorrow. That means actually we don't remember most of our own life. So what determines what we remember and what we forget? Well, the first necessary ingredient in creating a memory that lasts than the present moment is attention. You can only remember what you pay attention to. And in our memory, there is like an eraser that is responsible for erasing everything. that eraser say like, this information is useless, you don't need this information, this neither, and so with everything. So memory doesn't exist where there is no attention. That eraser is in charge of emptying everything of your memory, including important data. So, on the other hand, we have another problem. Why? Nowadays, we live a memory crisis because we have excess information. We delegate our memories to other things, so if remember it for us. For example, do you remember a birthday of some friends thanks to Facebook? Or do you remember a phone number thanks to a cell phone? Or do you remember some from school because you can look it up on the internet? That is a big problem for our memory. We must train our memory, but first we must know how it works. As I mentioned before, memory is like a phone that only stores the most important. Let's see. We have three types of memory: sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Sensory memory is linked to the five senses and remains very little time in our memory, just seconds. Every second, our brain captures thousands of stimuli through the senses. It will be impossible to remember everything that happens around us all the time. So then when our brain detects some relevant information, short-term memory kicks in. This memory is linked to the amount of information that each one is capable of storing. For example, when someone tells you a phone number and you don't have where to write it, then you try to memorize that. When you repeat that number in your head, you are trying to pass the information from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. Long-term memory is the one that stores information for the longest time. If you keep the information for several days, it is already considered as long-term memory. But it depends on the relevance of the information. It will be stored for years. So let's see. Let's imagine that here I have a phone. All types of memory enter the phone. So here is all the memories that is captured by the senses. In the middle, only some information is stored by the short-term memory. And finally, only the most important data that is only the most important data that is stored by the short-term memory is stored to the long-term memory. As you can see, the memory have a process, and the most important is the attention. But let me tell you some recommendations to strengthen memory. Well, the first is to exercise. The second one is eat healthy, because some foods help us to have a good memory. The other thing is sleeping well is essential to have a good memory. We can also do activities like social meditation. We can do different activities that requires concentration. Finally, I have the last question. What would happen if you wake up tomorrow and you don't have memory? I can imagine that. So live calm, live happy, and exercise your memory.